Hello and welcome to a smerdp video, and today I'm very excited to show off Marvel Legends series X-Men, Deathbird and Gladiator. One leads the Imperial Guards, the other is trying to usurp her sister. So on the side, nice artwork, and on the back, even more beautiful artwork there. Gladiator heads the Legion of Imperial Guard. Instead, Foss, he was also the Magistrix at some point as well, just to be clear. Service to the Magistrix, a title sought by Deathbird, who frequently plots to overthrow her sister, Lilandra. I'm not going to say her second name because in my head I say it correct. In reality, I'd probably say it completely wrong. As rule of the Spacefaring Shi'ar Empire. I think, if I remember correctly, at one point there was a coup, and she did take over, and the Lilandra and the Starjammers and Professor Xavier had to take it back. I'm trying to remember how that actually panned out in the comics. But anyway, it sort of sorted itself out, but I can't remember where or how and what comic it was, whether it was Uncanny X-Men or some other cosmic story. So there we go. I'm very excited to get these out of the box, so let's have a closer look. Okay, here they are out of the packaging, and they absolutely are blowing my mind how good they look. Now, if I remember correctly, Deathbird's first appearance was in the Avengers, and then sort of separate to the Shi'ar Empire when she first sort of branded out. I think I've got that correct in terms of X history. There's 60 odd years, so you know, play nice. I love this head sculpt. She just absolutely looks crazy. And then she's got the fierce little nails going on there. It would have been cool to have another head sculpt. I feel like, didn't she have sort of like some wings at one point? Artificial wings, maybe. But that would have been awesome as well. Maybe I'm clutching at straws. I could be completely wrong here. But yeah, absolutely love this. And I love the little strands here. But they will restrict what you do with this figure, because this piece looks like it is stuck on there and you are not taking it off. Nice body paint. I love the metallic feel of this cloak, and this is meant to sort of represent sort of feathers of her ancestors, and she was probably one of the last closest to the ancestors in terms of their bird-like features than Lilandra. So nice little rotation on the head. Now, this cloak is going to completely restrict these arms, and these bits as well. They're flexible, so you can move them around, but just, you do have to be careful when doing things, like so. So it will restrict what you do with her, but you can still put some pressure and get her arms out quite reasonably far. She's got the female body that just has the movement on the upper torso and nothing on the waist. And you kick forward, kick to the side, you get a swivel there, and you do on these beautiful sort of shiny boots, you do have a double pinless joint there. Nice little lefty righty, upsy and downsy. So you can get her into a pose where she is sort of flying in quite nicely, which I do adore. Now on to Gladiator. So the last time we had a Gladiator was 2018, and before that we had the San Diego Comic-Con version. Now, they were literally the same mold, however they just had different paint jobs. So this is going for the more classic look of Gladiator, and he just looks menacing. I love the fact you've got eyes in there as well, and you just look like you don't want to mess with him, you know, with his mohawk, which is pretty cool, pretty darn cool. Nice movement there. The cloak can come off if you take the head off, so you can have him without it. I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but it's your toy, do what you want with it. Nice swivel there. Pinless on the arms, which is great, like so. Nice swivel on the hand. Apologies, knocking my camera. A little upsy and downsy, like so. And then he has the torso, which has an ab crunchy, and you have a nice swivel there as well. So you are going to be able to get him into some really, really nice poses with this figure. Look at those muscles are bouncing around. And then you get the pinless legs, which are very tight. There we go, there we go. There, nice swivel there as well. Little lefty, little righty. Upsy and a downsy. Nice. Nice real movement on that. There we go. Let's see if we can stand them up again. And you got this beautiful, beautiful cloak that always reminds me of Doctor Strange. So, if I can get him to stand up, come on. You can do it, Gladiator. We believe in you. There we go. Let's bring in that San Diego version of the Gladiator, which I have had for, well, probably about a decade. I can't remember when it was, but it was a very, very long time. And this was part of the Fanis Imperative release at San Diego Comic-Con. But this was the only figure that I wanted. And I got it off some dude off eBay. They, back in the day, used to have eBay users that would sort of not overcharge, but they would charge some sort of profit on these figures, which, you know, I always thought it was reasonable. It was same with Uncanny X-Men, Uncanny X-Force free pack. You know, I got that in, you know, one of the best decisions I made back there. Not worth a dime now, but they were at the time one of my holy grail sets. So there we go. That's how they look together. So you can see it looks sort of a bit, you got a bit of a darker sort of navy sort of blue going on here, darker sort of tone on the star, and just everything just looks a little bit gritty, etc., and a bit more golden rather than the classic standout colors of the new version. So let's take off the head sculpts and let's bring in some of the other space aliens that I have. Okay, so I think I've taken it from a place where the Starjammers were perhaps trying to take the throne back. So Gladiator and Fang are on the side of Deathbird to make it a bit more even. One thing I feel like is Lilandra's trident feels a bit tiny, and perhaps doesn't add that little bit of weight of leadership. But I guess these poles would have been heavy and used as weapons to protect them. So, but I think they look great. You can also bring in Xavier as well in his little costume. You can squeeze him in there. His little costume as well. You can do that. Up to you if you want. They're your toys. You do how you feel. So let's just bring out some of these together out of the way. Let's have some room. There we go. And let's bring back in Gladiator. So if you do have a stand, you can put you can put either of them on a stand. This one is going to be a little bit heavier, but I feel like you would figure it out. I love what they have done in terms of the eye blast effects. I feel like it would have been cool for another effect. You could perhaps just like Cyclops, where you could just pop it in as well, just to give them more of a fuller beam. However, I'm not complaining. This is something that fans have probably wanted to see for a long time, and I love that open mouth. And he's got his fist on, so he is ready to kick butt. And then we'll just bring back in Lilandra as well, because I feel like these two belong together. And it was only a matter of time. Once we got Lilandra with Wolverine last year, I feel like they were testing the waters once again. But we have slowly been getting Starjammer figures over the last few years. So hopefully this continues. We see a Decken. What's it? Hetsipath. I probably said that completely wrong. It sounds better when I'm reading it and in my head. So there we go. Another 2-pack, which I'm very, very impressed with, and I feel has been a success in my mind. I wanted to pick this up probably more than some of the other 2-packs that have been released this year. So let's hope we get some solid X-Men in 2026 as well. So if you like my video, do please support me. I'd really, really appreciate it. Make sure you look after yourself. Very, very important. Thank you to everybody that's subscribed already. And embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.